My name's Lauren Tellis. I am 17. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when I was 15. This week will be my 1-year anniversary of my diagnosis, and I live in Fairfield, Connecticut. I don't think there's a time in life when you appreciate your life more than after just beating cancer as a teenager. And then, you never want to let that feeling go, the feeling of you're appreciating everything, you're living each moment to the fullest. Now I feel a lot more distance from it. It's more a memory than anything, every time I go to comb my hair, I remember, having hair. I remember, it's still short. But I don't necessarily want to forget. As bad as it was, it's kind of sad that each year that will pass, I'll get farther and farther away from such a big experience. But hopefully it'll always stay with me. Though sometimes I fear that I'll forget it. I'll forget what it's like. I apparently had been developing this disease through all my exams and stuff, even though I didn't know it. I didn't feel any symptoms actually. I was a little tired than usual, but I kind of attributed it to, I'm studying up late for my English exam, my history exam, all my exams. So I thought that's what made me tired. But then once school was over and I was still feeling kind of tired, and all of a sudden I looked in the mirror, I'm like, does my neck look fat? And so I started researching on the web, which all doctors tell you not to do, and I came to the conclusion that I had cancer. They scheduled a biopsy, which conveniently coincided with my school trip that year. So I missed the school trip, but in the end I'm really glad because the biopsy showed that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4. It's scary to think how maybe if I had caught it sooner, I could have had it instead of stage 4, stage 3, or stage 2. Maybe I would have caught it too late or much later, that I would have needed even more sessions of chemotherapy and possibly radiation. I was surprised my body could take all those chemicals. I was surprised I could take all those chemicals. Sometimes I just wanted to just refuse it, but I knew I couldn't because they're the only chance of getting better, but before you get better, you have to get worse. My friends were incredibly supportive, but I still felt distant from my friends. I know some people document their whole story through Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, but I didn't do anything. I just cut out social media. Nothing can help you. Seeing the pictures on Facebook, on Instagram, it just makes you feel like everyone else is speeding by through their life, but you're having to take it super slow, almost excruciatingly slow. You can't even walk down the stairs. Yeah, I remember my second chemo session was on the week of the homecoming dance at school. So, I tried not to go on Facebook, but I went on Facebook and I saw the pictures of the people at the dance and the bonfire, and it just makes you feel like you're making no progress. I kind of became a little detached, even though my friends were so supportive. They didn't really know what I was going through. One of my favorite things to use is from English class. Do you know the book All Quiet on the Western Front? These veterans went to World War I at 18. They were plopped in this war and it was horrible and they hated it. But when they went on leave, they couldn't, the life that they had before, they couldn't fit in. They went back and people didn't treat them the same way. They didn't feel connected to their family as much. They couldn't even find interest in their hobbies that they used to have. And so as much as it was they hated the war, they kind of wanted to go back to it because that's where their comrades were and that's where their support base, and that's the life they knew. And that's sometimes how I feel about cancer. I don't know how to this day, how I just stayed in that room with no one to talk to. I felt that I came out of it 3 years older. I still to this day don't feel like I have as good of a grasp on popular culture, and I'm not as in tune with the world as I used to be. But I can see where it can go either way. You can either feel held back or you can feel pushed ahead. But in both cases, you don't stay on the same track at all. It's weird because you feel like an old person in treatment. You have so many aches and you don't have the energy that you used to have, but yet you're treated like a child. And if anything, the only thing that stays constant is that you're not a teenager. Through the whole thing, you're just not a teenager. It's really hard. And I didn't realize it until after I came out. When I thought, oh, you know, it would have been really nice had I known someone to go through it with me. I mean, the battle would have been much easier. Moving forward, you know what you've been through, you know how much you can handle. And I think if you can handle cancer, you can pretty much handle anything.